The S-Class is insane. This is a sentiment held by most seeking fame and fortune, even the most determined warriors. They all settle for A-Class because of how crazy and strong you have to be S-Class. That said, there are many heroes who, dare I say it, are S-Class worthy, and today I'll be discussing and breaking them down. Let's go over some quick lore to help us establish the qualifications to be S-Class. Originally, there are only 3 hero ranks, C, B, and A. The S-Class was created when disaster-level demon monsters appeared, which usually required many strong heroes to win, and the appearance of heroes that could do it alone. These heroes generally didn't care about their rank, so the association didn't notice them until this day arrived. S-Class was made to cherry-pick these individuals who could easily defeat demon-level monsters. I know in the grand scheme of things, demon-level monsters don't seem like a big deal, but you gotta remember, as readers, we only see the most interesting parts of One Punch Man world. Yeah, Bug God might seem like a joke when Darkshine blasts him to pieces, but realistically, there are no more than 10 heroes that could have pulled that off. To the average person, or even a high-ranked hero, a demon-level monster seems like an unstoppable force of nature. Up until recently in the manga, demon-level monsters were said to be a monthly occurrence, and even then, it's hard for the Hero Association to keep up. According to its description, a demon-level monster could single-handedly stop an entire city from functioning, and in a world where cities are the size of countries, that's no small feat. I mean, could you imagine a single dude walking into New York and just being so strong nobody in the entire city could do anything? If you read a little deeper, it says the S-Class, which can defeat demon levels, is equal to a military division. You can take that to mean a division is needed to defeat a demon-level monster. In the real world, that's upwards of 10,000 soldiers, including various aircraft or heavy equipment depending on the configuration. Once again, imagine a single dude strolls into New York and 10,000 soldiers are sent to stop him. I hope that helps put into perspective that even dorks like these are not just cannon fodder, and even lower ranked heroes are genuinely superhuman for even trying to fight them. Now that we know this, we know you either need to beat a demon or higher level monster, or be comparable to the S-Class in some capacity to be S-Class level. Now we can finally talk about heroes. The most obvious pick is Amai Mask. Not only is he A-Class rank 1, which means he could become S-Class whenever he wants, but he actively stops heroes from becoming S-Class if they don't fit his standards, which is actually why most of these guys aren't S-Class already. From a raw feats perspective, Amai Mask was able to crush Doe's head with a single hand, and also briefly endured a few attacks from Fear Ugly, a dragon level monster. Fubuki also sees him on an entirely higher caliber than herself, Genos, and Sonic. Fubuki can contend with Does and knock her back, Genos is an S-Class hero, and Sonic is stated to have S-Class level combat ability, so if Amai Mask is stronger than these guys, he'd have to be S-Class level. Next are 3 of the top A-Class heroes, Blue Fire, Heavy Tank Loincloth, and Magic Trick Man. These 3 were bodyguards for Sitch that Garou defeated, and Sitch notes that everything should be fine since these top 3 A-Class have S-Class level combat ability. Some translations vary and will say they are close to S-Class level, but you get the idea. Like I said, these 3 got bodied by Garou, so unfortunately we don't get much of a clue to how strong they really are, but Sitch did consider these 3 sufficient enough to keep the hundreds of dangerous criminals in check. Criminals in One Punch Man have their own ranking system like the heroes, C, B, A, and S. And criminals of all classes were invited regardless of their crimes. Sitch thought this gathering of criminals would be able to help support the Hero Association, which was struggling to keep up with the rising number of monsters. We don't know exact numbers, but considering the amount of criminals here, Sitch had to have expected quite a few A-Class criminals and possibly even S-Class criminals considering Sonic showed up. Yet thought these 3 could handle it if things got messy. Considering it's estimated 10 A-Class heroes can deal with a demon level monster, this is pretty good. Golden Ball was able to press Garou harder than these 3 did, cut his cheek, blow a hole in his leg, and ultimately convince Garou to use the water stream, which he doesn't like to do. Golden Ball and the next hero I'm going to talk about tend to get looked down upon for losing to Kombu Infinity, which is a Tiger level monster, but Kombu's threat level in the story had always been Tiger or higher, which is another way the Hero Association saying it's at least Tiger, but it could be higher. They made this assessment after Kombu had beaten Golden Ball, so maybe you could say the Hero Association doesn't think Golden Ball can deal with demon levels, but Golden Ball himself seems to think he deserves a higher rank than he has, and is probably underestimated by the Hero Association considering his impressive feats against Garou. Spring Mustachio arguably did better than Golden Ball against Garou, and blatantly did better against Kombu Infinity. Garou even respects him enough to say they'd have a decent fight, and he's able to blow through Garou's hand and Kombu's tentacles. This should at least put him above the 3 heroes that were close to S-Class level. He reappears during the Monster War arc and can blow away dozens if not hundreds of Black S cells when they are exposed, when each Black S is considered safely above A-Class level. Again, if 10 A-Class are able to defeat a demon level, and Spring Mustachio can take out dozens of above A-Class level fighters, he should safely be able to fight demons as well. He also apparently defeated a level demon in one of the mobile games, so there's that. Ian was able to straight up fight the demon level monster Rhino Wrestler and matched him in strength. It might even be possible Ian could win, but was stubborn about wanting to cut his horn in half rather than just winning the most efficient way. He's also able to play a part in defeating another demon level, Devil Longhair, with his fellow disciples Okami Itachi and Bushidrill, who would also be at this level, as all 3 are shown to be relative in combat. Yain shows he should be near Spring Mustachio's level even when he's fatigued, when both defend themselves from Homeless Emperor, and neither is particularly having a harder time than the other, so they should be all around the same level. He also does better against Melzigard than the Sky King, a demon level monster who was stated to be equal to Sea King. That whole chunk of characters I think we can safely say are indeed S-Class level, except maybe the 3 that Garou beats depending on which translation you run with. Next, I'd like to talk about some characters that could be S-Class level, but we aren't 100% sure yet due to not showing enough feats. What I mean is characters that might be S-Class level in one specific area, but aren't well rounded enough to make the best use of it in combat. I'm also going to talk about characters who might be getting close to S-Class level or might already be there. Death Gatling's team were all considered elite among the lower ranked heroes and could all pressure Garou in some capacity using their unique skills, with some doing better than others. Glasses could take a few punches from Garou and genuinely impress him in close quarters, but it's hard to say he could take a demon level in a fistfight just because he made Garou flinch. I still think it's noteworthy he was the only one to earnestly take a hit from Garou. Shooter made use of his attacks from above, like his trademark arrow rain where he launched a barrage of arrows into the sky to catch his opponent by surprise. Even Garou admitted he couldn't avoid this attack if he didn't know it was coming, and it managed to stab him with poison-tipped arrows that caused monsters to get exhausted. Based on that, I have no doubt Shooter could hit some demon level monsters with his attack, but probably can't defend himself long enough for his poison to take effect, at least without teamwork. Stinger, Wildhorn, and Death Gatling all have powerful attacks that make Garou fear for his life. Considering Garou at this point can still take punches from Genos with minor injury, the fact he considered these lethal attacks is very telling for the power behind them. Stinger at one point also managed to rip off the arm of Grizzly Nia, a demon level monster, when it was paralyzed by Lightning Genji. The problem with these 3 is they don't have the speed to hit Garou a single time unless he purposely stands in front of them. So while they might have a lot of power, we don't know if they can use it the most efficiently. Smile Man doesn't personally boast the most impressive feats against Garou, however he does defend himself from another demon level monster that sneak attacks him. Even when they fight one-on-one, Smile Man doesn't feel completely overwhelmed and gets right back up after a sucker punch. In a bonus chapter, he and his brothers also team up and easily defeat Mako Daikon, a monster that the Hero Association classified as a demon level, though Smile Man did disagree, and after he manages to dodge an ice attack from a dragon level monster, Withered Sprout. Based on this, he seems to be on the upper ring of A-Class and might not be quite S-Class level. Fubuki fights Does and when she gets mad, blows her away and damages her. Unfortunately, she didn't manage to actually defeat Does, so I can't safely say she would be S-Class level. She does boast impressive barriers as she could hold off a single blast from Overgrown Rover and possibly stop a second one at the cost of her life, but that doesn't mean she can make attacks equal to that. Once again, I'd say she is probably one step below that of S-Class. Genos himself also thinks she wouldn't survive against a demon level, so there's that. Lightning Genji is the hero who helped Stinger fight Grizzly Nya and was the first to fight the demon level monster one-on-one. Here he shows impressive agility, dodging Grizzly Nya's paw attack and hitting it in the face with his max electricity, which stuns it. He then takes a paw attack to the face and quickly recovers, although he acknowledges the monster was getting sluggish, and even then he was so winded after this short exchange he said he could only make one more attack. His electric batons may have a short charge on them, or the paw attack hurt him pretty badly. Regardless, even though he has impressive speed and his batons pack quite a shock, he lacks the endurance to stay in the fight long enough to beat a demon. Lastly, Snakebite Snek and Lightning Max. These two, while working together with Suiryu, easily defeated the Three Crows. The Three Crows are either a demon level monster together or individually. If it's individually, Snek and Max would be S-Class level blatantly for one-shotting one crow each. But even if it's not, it's still really impressive. If 10 A-Class heroes are required to beat a level demon, then each crow is equal to 3 or 4 A-Class, and Snek and Max can one-shot them. The Three Crows might only be level demon using teamwork, seeing as they could overwhelm Suiryu, who was also strong enough to one-shot them a one-on-one. Suiryu also says Max's moves were better than Snek's, so Max should be a bit faster. That wraps up the heroes, but of course, many non-heroes have shown they can be S-Class as well, so let's go over those guys in a quick lightning round. Bomb is around Bang's level, whether you think he's weaker or stronger. Safe to say being around Bang's level makes you S-Class material. Sonic has fought 2 S-Class heroes, Genos and Flash, and has also been said to have S-Class level combat ability. Galewind and Hellfire were monsters that somehow managed to revert into human beings while being stronger than ever. As monsters, they were recognized as dragon level threats that could pressure the S-Class Flashy Flash, so they would be S-Class as well. The Heavenly Ninja Party is then explained many times to be superior to these two in many ways, so the same applies. Empty Void, the leader of the ninjas before becoming a monster, was equal to Blast, the top-ranked S-Class. The Council of Swordmasters, Nichiren, Amahare, Zambai, Haragiri, Yuta, and Shido were all recognized as the top Swordmasters, above Iain and Spring Mustachio, so they'd all be S-Class level. Garou, before he even starts monsterizing, is said to be level dragon, which would fit our requirements, but he also straight up defeats 2 S-Class heroes. Psychos is a level dragon despite being a normal human Esper, and would still qualify for the list. Apollo managed to subdue Psychos, however at the time she was under the influence of medication, so she could be weakened. I'm gonna say he's in the maybe camp rather than for sure. Suiryu was able to easily defeat Max and Snek, who were at least on the verge of S-Class level, as well as survived a barrage from a dragon level Bakuzan, despite him being pretty much out of strength. Chosen Bakuzan in their human forms were not remotely impressed when Suiryu defeated Max and Snek, showing maybe they think they can do this too, but that's harder to say. And lastly is Dr. Kuseno. Being the scientist who works on Genos, it stands to reason he has most of the equipment Genos uses, and also has his battlesuit that Genos considers a demon level or above based on its energy readings.